When you hear the name Slendytubbies, you either feel like you just got sent back in a time machine, or you have no idea what the heck I'm talking about. Since this isn't a summary on Slendytubbies itself, I'm not going to be explaining that much about it. I don't know when I'm going to be making that type of video, but I'm probably going to make it. Either way, I'm here to talk about just how absolutely insane the main character is in terms of physical strength. Now, before you call me a weird power scaler who's very delusional, I'm not saying he can do something crazy like beat Goku, but would you consider the things that the Guardian, the main character, has gone through? Well, he's pretty strong. And by pretty strong, I mean very strong. The Guardian, known by the community as Walten, is the protagonist of Slendytubbies 3, and I don't know if he's the protagonist of the other games because I've only really played 3 on my phone because they have a mobile port for some reason, but you need to consider this dude's accomplishments. First off, the clip you're seeing in the background is actual game footage. This guy can beat a freaking mech that has a chainsaw and laser beams with nothing but a chainsaw himself. This guy is going up against something like 3 times his size that's also robotic. It has its own buzzsaw, and he wins. And not to mention, in the first phase of the fight, it has a literal laser gun. This is canon, by the way, because there's no ending for losing to the announcer. So there's no way that losing to the announcer is canon. The Guardian canonically can stop a freaking mech with a buzzsaw and a laser beam. Now, you might not realize how absolutely insane that is, but think about it. This thing is capable of jumping so hard that it leaves cracks and hot spaces on the floor for several seconds. Now, I don't know if the gameplay scaling is the same as the lore scaling, but considering the fact that the Guardian beats the announcer anyway, I'm pretty sure he at least canonically beat the announcer, which means that he canonically dodged every single attack or tanked several attacks from a buzzsaw and a laser cannon. Do you realize how absolutely insane that is? By the way, your ending can somewhat influence how strong you see the Guardian as, but for the most part, I'd say the Guardian is ridiculously strong because he at least beats this mech in the lore. And if you, for some reason, consider the bad ending to be the canon ending, which I'm pretty sure it's not, considering the Apocalypse DLC exists, well, that means either way, he was able to defeat a rapidly mutating, earth-bending, fire-bending Poe for 3 phases and only died on the third because it had freaking fire powers and was like 2 times bigger than him. That is insane. And that's just the bad ending where Walten loses. If you consider the good ending, which I'm pretty sure is the canon ending, to be, well, the canon ending, that means Walter was capable of defeating a earth-bending, rapidly mutating Poe with superpowers. Do you realize how insane that is? He beat a earthbender. And if for some reason you consider the regret ending and the evil ending to be canon, which I'm pretty sure they're not, because why would he fight the announcer if he wanted to join Nunu? even in the regretful ending and the evil ending, you know, Nunu considers Walten to be the best soldier or Slendytubby that there is. That means this dude is better than Tinky Winky in his tank form and Spider Poe. Do you realize how absurd that is? This dude, even in his base form, had the ability to bend Earth itself. And even in the ending where he turns infected, he's considered to outclass this guy. That is that's crazy. Not to mention that legless Walten looks genuinely terrifying. Now, aside from the fact that this dude somehow kept his drip while falling like that, this dude has sharp teeth, glowing red eyes, and his face is built like one of the gremlins. Not to mention that he's repurposed his rib cage as this sort of I don't even know how to describe that. It's some type of grappling weapon using the rib bones as sort of impaling things. Now, that might not sound formidable, but it sure is terrifying. And then you realize that this dude moves fast as heck in the games. I'm talking about the legless Walter. This dude is crawling around, and he somehow is fast. Now, that doesn't sound like much of a threat until you realize if this dude gets you in close quarters in this form, his grappling spine thing will become a genuine problem. He grabs you with this thing and you're screwed. And worst of all, while you're over here literally dying with rib bones crashing through your rib cage, impaling your lungs, this dude has drip. He has the freaking cow top hat. Dude! Not only does he ruthlessly attack you, but he has drip. He's emotionlessly, mercilessly murdering you with drip. This dude has unfathomable drip. Oh my gosh. Now, the old legless Walten, we don't talk about that. That dude was literally just his base model, but without legs, and he had a goofy smile. That's all I can recall. But the new model is terrifying though, and that's the model I just described. I won't be describing or really talking about the old model since it's probably not considered canon anymore. Reminder, he does this without legs. Imagine how terrifyingly fast the one with legs is. No, I'm not sure how fast the infected Walter is with legs because I don't think he appears in any of the games as a infected unless he's in crawler form. But think, if he moves like that, just crawling around on his arms, think how fast this dude must be with his legs. This dude is speed blitzing a regular human. Does he beat Goku? Heck nah. Does he beat Naruto? I mean, Crawler might by catching him off guard, but I doubt he's beating Naruto. And even then, Naruto has been shown to be far stronger than that. Obviously, he's not the strongest character in fiction, but when you consider all this, this is extremely formidable. Would he defeat the modern military? No. I mean, if he's stronger than Poe, and Poe could be beaten with a chainsaw, I'm pretty sure if you hit this dude with a few missiles, there's no way he's staying alive. Plus, Dipsy, which only went down after being hit by an explosive laser. I mean, if he's stronger than that, I mean, you're probably not taking him down with a handgun unless you can absolutely demolish him with a switch, but I mean, he's still insane. But remember, none of that is canon. In the canon ending, he defeats the announcer, a mech bot with a laser beam and a saw, and also defeats Poe, who has 3 separate forms with elemental powers. This dude is overpowered, at least considering, our worlds. He is definitely not defeating most people's OCs, but I mean, if you try to fight Legless Walter, he's demolishing you, unless you're in an open field. In that case, just try jumping over him. Or maybe don't. I don't know how far that ribcage goes. But if Walten really is that strong, like, in infected form, I mean, that means he probably also has elemental powers. Although I don't know exactly what type of elemental powers he'd have. Considering he beat Poe, he might have fire powers, but either way, I still don't know how he has fire powers. But back to the canon ending, which is the ending we're mostly focusing on because we're aiming for the canon spectrum. If Walten was capable of beating a mech and a spider Poe that can smash the ground and manipulate earth and fire, that means that he'd be, with his chainsaw at least, probably wall level in terms of strength. And in terms of durability, he's probably building level, considering he can tank literal plasma shots to the face. But I'm gonna be honest, his durability feats are kind of inconsistent. For example, during the Dipsy chase, actually during a lot of scenes, if you go into the building and don't jump over the laser, you immediately die. And during the Dipsy chase, if Dipsy hits you with his chainsaw even once, you die. Which contradicts everything I just said about his durability. But the thing is, during gameplay, actually those parts are gameplay too. During the boss fights, he's capable of withstanding several shots of fire to the face and literal laser blasts. I mean, with feats like that, I mean, it's hard to tell what really they wanted his power level to be. During his fight with Poe, you can take several punches, blasts of fire, literal asteroids to the face, and still not die. But during the bad ending, what takes him out is getting stabbed in the chest or stomach just one time. And honestly, this is hard to understand. Now, I guess you could argue that in the bad ending, he's been basically tenderized by the fact that he's been shot by the announcer several times, stabbed, and hit by literal fire and stuff. And that's why the Strike was able to take him down. But that doesn't make sense because it contradicts the death in the Dipsy chase theme if you don't win the chase. But since the game just makes you restart the chase if you die to Dipsy, technically dying to Dipsy isn't canon. But the fact that a single chainsaw stab from Dipsy kills Guardian or Walten, but several meteorites tanked directly to the chest and face doesn't make sense, because at that point in the game, Walten wouldn't have been tenderized by any attacks. I mean, he hasn't come across the announcer yet because he doesn't have his chainsaw yet, and he hasn't seen Nunu yet, besides in the beginning of the game when he sees him on the beach. At least I think he sees him on the beach. It's been a while since I played that part of the game. I mean, Walten, assuming that the good ending is canon, either Walton has really good reflexes and didn't get hit by anything even once and blocked and dodged everything, or, well, he can tank those. And it's hard to know because it's just gameplay. But in the cutscene, he's capable of hitting a mech with a chainsaw until it explodes. And that explosion doesn't hurt him at all. So I'm assuming he can at least take a frag grenade without being seriously injured. So that's assuming we're lowballing him. Actually, no, but it's pretty close. If you really wanted to lowball him, you could argue that he's regular durability because Dipsy with a chainsaw kills him. But if you want to lowball him, but lowball him less, you could say that he at least survives a frag grenade. Now, if you want to assume that he actually takes that many hits in the base canon, that would mean this guy is more durable than buildings, or on the level of buildings, as he is capable of being stabbed and sliced with a saw and being blasted with laser beams, and then immediately after takes several stabs and fire beams and being attacked in his soul. At least I think that is what Necromorph Poe does. I'm not really sure. Either way, he at the very least has a very good sense of clarity and ability to stay cool under pressure, as canonically he doesn't forget where to go when he gets chased by a headless Dipsy with a chainsaw. Mind you, most people in that situation would have either froze up in shock or went the wrong way, resulting in walking into a dead end and dying. Not to mention that he also is capable of remembering to jump over the laser beam while he does this. So this guy is extremely good under pressure. He also has extremely good reflexes, as he's capable of making that jump while sprinting under the influence of adrenaline. At that point, his vision would probably be blurred a little, and while his reflexes would be a little faster in that state, they wouldn't be exactly precise, probably. So the fact that he was capable of remembering where to go, how to go, and remembering to jump over the laser, which most people would have ran past and got blown up by the laser while they were getting chased by Dipsy, and Dipsy would have looked at our body like, well, dang. He was capable of remembering how to do that. And while technically you also have to be capable of doing that to make him do that in the game, you also have to remember that we're not actually in that situation, and they're playing the most goofy music in the background so you don't get scared and freeze up. This is the music that plays on that part, by the way. Actually, wait a bit. I'm gonna have to bring this up again when I make my video on the story of Slendytubbies, because this theme is just too goofy for the situation. That, by the way, is what you're listening to when the freaking King Von of Slendytubbies 3 is chasing you in a very narrow hallway in a laboratory on the outskirts of Tubbyland. You're telling me that goofy beat is playing while I'm getting chased by a headless maniac with a chainsaw. However, what I do respect is that they actually made this themselves. Although I was a little disappointed considering they have Runaway and Omega made. They bought licenses for official music, so it's not like they didn't have the money to make a better theme, but at least they tried, honestly, because I'm probably more disappointed by the fact that the other music in the game is better than anything. Because, mind you, this masterpiece... I just stuttered. This masterpiece plays when you're getting chased by infected Poe. I mean, not when chased, when you're fighting Poe. And this other masterpiece plays when you fight the announcer. Those two songs set the bar pretty high for the OST standard. The most of the music before this time is pretty subpar too. I mean, once you've played the game and went past the boss fight, I mean, the Dipsy chase theme feels a lot less terrifying. Now, don't get me wrong, the Dipsy chase theme isn't exactly bad, but it doesn't fit the exact tension of the situation. I mean, there's more tension in fighting a mech while you're armed than fighting a dude with a chainsaw while you're unarmed in a tight hallway, which is probably the worst situation to be being chased by a madman with a chainsaw. I mean, this musical standard, I guess, kind of reduces the fear, but why am I doing this? Because I know I'm going to have to bring this up when I review Slendytubbies, so why am I bringing it up in this scaling video? Oh my gosh. Anyway, I better end the video here before this turns into another 30-minute ramble session. Session? What's a session? I mean, session. Yeesh. Anyway, bye, because I don't want this video to be too long, because it's gonna take a long time to export.